Hello again and thanks for joining. So this is going to be quite surprising for me, I think. This model here is from Jouef. I normally associate Jouef with some really kind of ropey and rough looking model railway wagons and locomotives, but this doesn't look like that at all. This is a modern image container wagon in the SNCF FRET livery, a really nice green colour with a white and green container on board. This is number 653400 in the Jouef range, and it's obviously a big step up from Jouef stuff that I've seen before and reviewed on this channel. I can't wait to have a look at this closer up, so let's get this out of the box and we'll check it out. So it's certainly an impressive box, and it holds the model very securely and safely as well. But now we got the model out, we can take a closer look. And straight away, what really impresses with this model is the amount of detail and definitely the printing on it. It is a little bit light though, and I think this body is actually made out of plastic. It seems to flex a little bit. I was hoping it might have been made out of metal, but it seems not. It's a very delicate frame wagon as well, and the container seems to be just loosely attached to it. It just lifts off quite easily. It's got a couple of tabs underneath which fit into this model, but not studs like what we've seen on other models. I'll put this to one side as we concentrate on the wagon. Without the container on, this is very light. It's a single plastic moulding which has got a lot of detail on it. It's a nice representation of the ribs of this wagon, and this would look really quite interesting running without the load as well. You'd see right through and you'd see the track. Very modern design. It's got the bogies clipped in with these plastic parts here, and it has the coupling which has a little bit of movement in here separate to the bogie, but not a huge amount. It is in an M pocket which allows you to change it if you want. The moulding of the bogie isn't too bad. It's got a lot of detail with a lot of the features picked out in the plastic there. The brake gear isn't in line with the wheels though, but we do have a set of burnished wheels which do revolve really well. Plastic of the deck is quite pliable. You can see that it has got quite a lot of movement in this, and as we look down the side you can really see the detail of this printing. It's been done really well, and there's so many little numbers and logos down the side here that it makes for a really interesting model. There's some additional parts added in underneath, like these tanks here with the pipework between them. But it's a fairly simple model, and it really relies on the printing and the colour, I think. The buffers are just pushed in at the end. They're not sprung or anything, and they're just made out of plastic as well. What I like about this though is because it's pliable, it can take a few knocks. And you can see here it has a step which can be bashed a little bit without getting broken off. So that's pretty good. It's better than it being really brittle. But I do wonder how well this is going to go over some points, especially if it's pushed. The container does have some weight in it, and it looks to be a two-piece moulding here with the main piece of moulding up here and this floor added in. Maybe it's just popped in here and the weight is inside. We've got some really good rivet detail all the way around this container, and the printing on it is not too bad, but this one does seem to be wearing off a little bit here. This is a second-hand model, so it might have actually worn off there, but the green does look really good, and the logo up here of the Chrono Froid does look very crisp and clear as well. We've got some printing up on the roof, which is quite interesting. But we do have a moulding mark right in the middle there, which is a bit of a disappointment. At this end of the container we've got the refrigerator unit up here with a tank below it, and what looks to be some gears printed on the side of it. I think they could probably have done without adding in that. But there are some other details here like the steps and the rivet detail, and also some numbers printed on here as well. At the other end of the container we've got a representation of the doors, and this is where the printing suffers, especially in the middle where you can see some of the white there. Especially if I turn it like this, you can see it down the side of the locking mechanism there. It has the logo which has come out pretty good, and some lettering as well, but the green stripe is letting it down a little bit. So it fits together pretty easily, but it's not very secure, and I think this could easily get knocked off. It does seem like a really strange way of attaching this container with these little tabs which slot into the wagon. You can see how it fits in here underneath. But it could have had some studs in it and just fitted into the little holes on this container wagon, and that would have helped it quite a bit to stay together. So it's not the best looking container wagon I've ever seen, but it's certainly not bad, and the printing on it looks really good, especially on the wagon. But let's put this on the scales and we'll see how much it weighs. So together this wagon weighs 91 grams. However, remove the container and that drops down to 27 grams. So there's no doubting that this container wagon from Jouef is a real step up in terms of quality from this manufacturer. It really shines compared to older models, and it does actually look really good. There are some niggles on this model, I think. The way the container attaches to the wagon is a bit strange and not very secure. There's some printing issues on this model, especially on the container, and a moulding mark on the roof which I don't like. And also the fact that the wagon is so light, it's just made out of plastic and it doesn't have any weights in it. That could cause some problems if it was running without the container on board. But on the plus side, the container does actually look pretty good. I like the refrigerator unit on the end, and the wagon does have some fantastic printing down the side of it. And I do actually like the pliability of this wagon because it means it won't just snap in two if it takes a bash or two. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. I think there are better container wagons than this one available, but this is definitely a step in the right direction for Jouef, and I hope they make more wagons like this and continue to improve over time. But that's just what I think. What do you think about this wagon? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel grow. I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around. And in a moment, there'll be a link to another video appearing on screen. Just click on that and I'll see you over there. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. See ya.